Example 1. Find the equation of the linear function represented by the table below in slope-intercept form. So just to give you a quick reminder, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Please remember that our m value stands for slope. And slope, if you recall, that's equal to rise over run. Our b value that's listed right here, our b value is our y-intercept. And last week I taught you how to find your m or your slope and to find your b or your y-intercept. The video that's done in Delta Math, I'm not a huge fan of. Now, it's not wrong, but I would rather apply a strategy that will work no matter what. So, in this case, the first thing I need to do is to write my equation is I need to find what my m value is. So to find my slope, I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to go ahead and write m is equal to, I'm going to put my subtract signs. And now notice I have a whole bunch of points. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. And I'm going to use a color coding. I'm going to use this point right here, 0, 8. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch colors on you and I'm going to use this point 118. You can choose any 2 points you want, but I think that 0, 8 and 118 are the smallest numbers and therefore the easiest ones. So I'm going to plug in, let's start with the red one. Let me switch back to red. So my y values go on the top because that's rise. So I'm going to put 8 over 0. Notice that 8 is my y value and 0 is my x value. So 8 over 0. Switching over to blue now, I'm going to put 18, which is my y value in top, and 1 has to be underneath that. Now I'm going to go ahead and simplify. 8 minus 18 is negative 10. And then 0 minus 1 is negative 1. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. And 10 divided by 1 is simplifying to 10. All right. Okay, so now that we have our m value, m is 10, we have to come up with our b value. In order to find our b value, we're going to go back to slope-intercept. And slope-intercept is y equals mx plus b. I will substitute my newly found m, which in this case is 10. But now I need to substitute a value for x. And then I need to substitute a value for y. Now, the numbers we can put in for x and y, you actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different points. So you get to choose. But I would make a suggestion, choose the easiest point. And the easiest point, in my opinion, is the red one over here. So I'm going to take the 8, which is my y value, and put that over here. I'm going to take the x, which is my 0 value, and I'll put that in there. And 8 is equal to 10 times 0 plus b. So that would simplify to 8 is equal to b, because 10 times 0 is 0, right? But then why waste time writing 0 plus b? So to clarify, I'm going to go ahead and write my final answer. My m value is 10 and my b value is 8. So my final answer is y equals 10x plus 8. I'm going to box that right there and we're good to go. Example 2, find the equation of the linear function represented by the table below in the slope-intercept form. So just a quick reminder, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. We want to first find our m value, so I'm going to put m is equal to. Now, just to clarify, this is y2 over, let's see, let me back up. Let's do the top. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's the formula. I'm just not putting the y's and the x's because I like to save some time. So usually I'd simply write out m equals, I put a subtract in the top and the bottom because that has it. Now all I have to do is pick points. Now the easiest points for me, I think 1 and 2 are good. So I'm going to put my y value of 2 on top. And then the x value that goes with that y is 1. Switching over to green, the next ordered pair I'm going to use is 2 and 3. And again, you could use 3, 4, and 4, 5, whichever. My y value is going to be 3. And then the corresponding x value that goes with that y is going to be 2. So when I simplify this, I have 2 minus 3, which is negative 1. and then 1 minus 2 is negative 1. And a negative 1 divided by negative 1 is going to simplify to 1. So my m value for this problem is 1. All right, next let's go ahead and solve for b. So I have y equals mx plus b. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use 0.12, but again, you can use 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. I just think 1 and 2 are easier. So in goes 2 for y. My m is conveniently positive 1, and my x value is going to be positive 1. So my equation would be 2 is equal to 1 times 1 plus b. That would simplify to 2 is equal to 1 plus b. And then I would solve for b by subtracting 1 on each side. So I put 1 is equal to b, and I'm done. Now what I can do is I'm going to take my m value of 1 and my b value of 1, and I'm going to write an equation. And I'm going to write y equals 1x plus 1. But then I want to go ahead and draw your attention to that 1. I really don't need a 1 in front of the x. Now there's nothing wrong even if I put 1 over 1. It's just in math we like to simplify whenever possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that out and I'm going to put y equals x plus 1 because I understand that I can put the number 1 in front and I can even make it a fraction by putting it 1 over 1. So there's example 2. Okay, example 3. Find the equation of the linear function represented in the table below in slope-intercept form. All right, cool. Did the last one say slope? It did say slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. All right, just curious. So the first thing I need to do, just like I did in the last one, is I'm going to find my m value to begin. I'm going to use a color coding. I'm going to look for the easiest points. Now, here's the deal. That's a negative 3 and 16. I'm going to leave that out because I actually think this is the easiest point. But then 5 and negative 24. I actually do think that negative 3 and 16 is a little bit easier than 5 and negative 24. But again, to make a long story short, choose the points you like. Okay, so my y value is 16. The x value that goes with that y is negative 3. Switching over to red, my y value is negative 4, which means this negative 4 becomes plus 4. And then the x value that goes with that y is a positive 1. Simplifying, 16 plus 4 simplifies to 20. Negative 3 minus 1 is actually a negative 4. And then 20 divided by negative 4, my m will simplify to being just negative 5. Good. I've got my m value. Now I have to go ahead and find b. So I'm going to write y equals mx, I'm going to try to anyways, plus b. I think the easiest point is to use 1 and negative 4 here. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in negative 4 for y. My m value is negative 5. That's what I just found. And then my x value is going to be 1. So I would have negative 4 is equal to negative 5 times 1 plus b. And then that would simplify to negative 4 equals negative 5 plus b. After that, I'll use the addition property of equality, which is a fancy way of saying add 5 on both sides. And then negative 4 plus 5 is positive 1. And so I find out that my b value is 1 and my m value is negative 5. Then I can write my final answer. So I'm going to write y is equal to negative 5x plus 1. And there's nothing that I need to simplify. And that concludes our lessons for today.